Once you're proficient at juggling with 3 objects, once it becomes comfortable, you probably want to learn a couple tricks because you know, you're still interested and you're just doing this all the time. So here we go. Trick number 1, this is fairly simple, just to start you off, is to throw one over the top. Usually they go underneath the incoming ball, it goes on the inside of the incoming ball. Now you're going to throw it over the top of the incoming ball. You can keep it going back and forth like that. You can keep throwing from one side over the top, or the most advanced version of this would be to throw them all over the top instead of underneath like that. That's trick number 1. Trick number 2, this is a little more difficult, but it's called circle juggling. It's the way you see juggling portrayed in cartoons always, is going in a circle like this. Your left hand is handing them to your right. You can see, you can slow the DVD down if you need to, but you can see that the left hand is just throwing it straight across to the right, and the right keeps it going up in the air. That is juggling in a circle. You can learn to juggle in just one hand with 2 balls like this. Once you're proficient at this, you can go in a circle like this, or you can go side by side like this. Once you're proficient at juggling with 2 in one hand, there are many, many variations now. You can throw the other one up, and it looks like you're doing a trick, but really all this hand is doing is just doing that. But it looks like much more. You can do some fake out juggling like this. It's called the lazy man's juggle. Once you've got that, you can start crossing through. You can do little gags like this, all this. Well, now this is getting more advanced, but all that was just based on 2 in one hand and your other hand being free to do whatever it wants. You can just make up crazy stuff. Now, the 2 other tricks I think I'll be showing you here. Under the leg. Everyone, when they think of juggling, you got to be able to throw it under the leg and behind the back, right? So in order to throw it under the leg, you want to throw, if your right hand is your dominant hand, you want to throw from your right under the leg. Now, in order to set up for this, the left hand is going to throw a little bit higher than it normally does to give you a little extra time. So left hand goes high, right hand goes under the leg. And it's just throwing from one hand to the other like you've been doing. You just raise your leg up, get a little extra time with that higher left throw, and boom, under you go, just like that. You can continue going every one under like that. All right, that's a little more advanced, but then we'll go to behind the back, okay? This is another, pretty basic thing. Same idea. Your left hand is throwing a little higher in order to give you some time, and then your right hand goes behind the back, you catch it in your left. So it's still switching hands just like normal juggling, but a little more time, and behind the back, boom. High throw, behind the back. High throw, behind the back. When that gets proficient, you can keep it going like that. Go every one this way. Variation on that is over the shoulder. But over the shoulder, you just have to get used to. You have to kind of whip your hand a little bit to get it to come up over your shoulder like this. Like so. You usually switch hands just like with the behind the back. Boom. Like that little variation. You can get that going every throw too. Now one easier way to break this move down, because this is harder than it looks to juggle in a circle like this. So a good thing to do really is to go ahead and put one ball away, just take the 2, and just remember, the left hand is just throwing straight across to the right hand. The right hand is throwing right up in a circle over to the other hand. So if you just go with the 2 balls to get the idea of that, just get the move down. I mean, you can literally, it doesn't even have to throw it across, you can hand it across at first just to get the idea. And when that becomes comfortable and you're used to not having both hands throw up in the air like they were in the regular juggling pattern, then you can go ahead and go to 3, and it should be a little bit easier now that you've practiced that move. So when you're learning any new move, such as over the shoulder, behind the back, under the leg, anything like this, the best way to do it is to isolate that move. Just take one ball, one item, and just work on that move. Figure out how you can get that ball to land exactly where you want it. Figure out the height you want to have it at in order to have enough time, exactly what spot you want to go, figure out how hard you have to throw it and where it's going to land, and just work on that one thing. It may seem boring, but just work on that one thing until it gets very comfortable. You know how hard to throw it, you know how high it's going to go, and you know where it's going to land. That way, when you have all 3 things going and you have a very limited amount of time to throw it, your body is going to remember how you just practiced it, and it's going to throw it the right way. The other thing, as I said, is to go ahead and throw the other throw higher first, give you a little more time, and then over it goes. Over the back, behind the back, onto the leg. And feel free to make up any crazy move you can think of yourself once you get some of these basics down. You know, you can, knock it off your knee, your arm, I just made that up just now, rolling it off my shoulder, anything. But again, isolate that one thing that you're gonna do and get it so it becomes easy, then put it into the pattern so you don't get overwhelmed.